It's funny. It's funny how much has been exposed with this current iteration of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and just exactly where the principles or how principled the individuals who love to champion free speech really are when it all comes down to issues that they want to take to heart on this one, because the right, the conservative side of the thing, they all want to just champion the Constitution. They always want to go ahead and, try to run this back. Oh, a Democrat's doing something corrupt. Imagine if a Republican would ever do something like this. Well, we're seeing this stuff play out in a real time, and well, they're just as likely to go ahead and wield that power because, like I said, and I've laid this out multiple times before, but there are two pet ideologies that both sides like to hold. On the left, you have anything that just goes against minorities. If you get labeled as a racist or a bigot in that regards, you are completely and totally excised from the groups. Or if you go ahead and criticize anybody's sexual identity, you get labeled as a homophobe or a transphobe or something like that, and you are completely and totally taken out of the group. But then on the conservative side, if you say anything against a woman, they'll go ahead and they'll kick you right to the curb. But the other one, the big one that has been exposed over these past few weeks, everything that kicked off right at the beginning of October, now we're starting to see that weapon, the old anti-Semitism weapon, being wielded against everyone. And based on the comments that are out here, and, I've got no love for Susan Sarandon, okay? Like, she was probably in some films that I liked at some point in time, but even the stuff that she's saying is kind of bonkers and stupid, but she's also getting canceled for her saying things, which is absolutely wild. Susan Sarandon dropped by talent agency after anti-Jewish comments. Are they really anti-Jewish, though? Let's see. Academy Award-winning actress Susan Sarandon was dropped as a client of UTA, a major Hollywood agency, following her controversial comments that American Jews are getting the taste of what it feels like to be a Muslim. What's inherently anti-Semitic about that, given the fact that Muslims from the Middle East are also Semitic? Spoiler, isn't that weird? The UTA spokesperson, don't want to offend anybody else, confirmed to Fox News Digital Sarandon is no longer repped by them. At a pro-Palestinian rally in New York City on November 17th, Sarandon called for the protesters to listen and have conversations with Jewish Americans. Very anti-Semitic, too. Listen to Jews. Weird. Okay. As many have said that they don't feel safe because of the rise in anti-Semitism. Where exactly is that? Since the October 7th Hamas terror attacks. Right, sure. There are a lot of people that are afraid. They're a lot afraid of being Jewish at this time and are getting a taste of what it feels like to be Muslim in this country. So she's also just kind of being a hyperbolic idiot, but okay, so far, so typical. So, how about that? Typical? I think so. So often subjected to violence. Yeah, I guess kind of, maybe, sure. But I thought we kind of moved on from, like, early 2000s, but if we were going to decode everything that she, didn't really think out beforehand before she started to speak, we'd probably be here all day. Her comments received intense backlash. For what? Listen to a Jew because, okay, sometimes, being a Muslim sucked. That's basically what she said. That's cancel-worthy? The fuck are we doing? Including from a Muslim American writer and education activist, Asra Nomani, who wrote a lengthy thread on X about how her parents experienced a life of freedom and opportunity in the United States, and that they wouldn't have experienced living in a Muslim country. Yeah, no, exactly. You could go on and write shitty books or some shit like that. I have no fucking idea who this bitch is. But you'd be absolutely retarded if you didn't think that, Muslims or anybody who looked Arab after the Twin Towers fell, we don't need to get into that on YouTube, right? But after Osama bin Laden directed, okay, I'm not going to be one of those, revisionist history guys just going, wow, actually, you know what, he kind of had to put, no, he didn't, okay? Osama bin Laden orchestrated the murder of 3,000 plus Americans, okay? He's a hunk of shit, and given the fact that he's at the bottom of the ocean, it's a better resting place than he deserves. But if anybody who bore that same skin color, anybody who were covering their hair at that time, you can go ask them. You can go see, okay, were they berated as being camel jockeys? Were they berated as being one Allahu Akbar away from blowing the place up. Yes, of course, you'd be absolutely retarded if you didn't accept that reality. Have things gotten better since then? Of course, now that more information has come to light. Shout out Ryan Dawson. But again, this is just blowing the situation completely and totally out of proportion. Pun only somewhat intended. This is a taste of the life of a Muslim family in America. Please don't minimize the experience of Jewish Americans by sanitizing the hell out of it. Is for Muslims living in Muslim countries and vilifying America for the life and freedoms she offers Muslims like my family. Go live like a Muslim woman in a Muslim country, she wrote. You will come back to America and kiss the land beneath your feet. Yeah, okay, whatever. She didn't even say any of that stuff, but you wanted to be, a little bit extra on top of that and go fucking figure, a woman being solipsistic about a comment that really didn't have anything to do with her. But okay, cool. And then this just gets presented unironically without source or anything like that. The United States has seen a significant rise in anti-Semitism. Fucking where? Particularly on college campuses. Again, I will point this out. Normally, the conservatives, the right out there, would be pointing and laughing at college students with their feelings being upset. But no. Just because they have the correct curvature to their nose, they think that, oh no, all of a sudden now we need to start taking this seriously and we need to start thought policing on campuses and, kicking off anybody who's pro-Hamas by simply saying that innocent Palestinians getting bombed isn't necessarily the utmost moralistic response to something that went down. It's almost like innocent loss of lives on both sides. By saying that, that's anti-Semitic, allegedly, right? Hollywood has also been no, just move right on from that, right? Yeah, following the attack against Israel, right? Yeah. Why is that? Do you want to go in on that? Do you want to talk about any of the apartment buildings, bombs, or hospitals, daycares, schools, any of those getting bombed? No. There were tunnels underneath the building. Then why did you have to bomb would you be an anti-Semitic with that logic? Hollywood has been criticized by many A-list actors, TV showrunners, and producers for hesitating to comment. So again, just run back that old school idea that, college kids were being busters for putting their feelings before facts. But now you've also got, people criticizing other people for not bending the knee quickly enough. It's such a strange turn of events, but nothing that's all that shocking, really. But Susan Sarandon, she gets dropped from a talent agency. She's already had a long, illustrious career. She'll be fine at the end of this, and mostly she'll probably just be out of work until this all blows, or I'm not out of work, rather, but just out of an agent for the time being, and, she's probably already got her roles lined up for the next year, and she'll just be snatched up by another studio anyways, because, well, it's Susan Sarandon at the end of the day, and if she wants to work, she's going to get the work. The same cannot be said for this Melissa Barrera chick, She had a gig lined up, and then she just had it taken away. Why? Well, I think you kind of know why, given the fact that we're talking about this in the same video. A fired Scream star, clients booted from agencies, and a secret Tom Cruise... Wait, what does Tom Cruise have to do with this? Inside Hollywood's divide over them boys. 4 days after the October 7th Hamas terror attacks in Israel, WME invited Steve Leader, the rabbi from... Wilshire Boulevard Temple, to visit the agency's Beverly Hills headquarters. Why would you have to do that? That makes no sense. He came to provide comfort for employees after reeling for the worst attack on the Jewish people since the early. Who was piloting the helicopters? Just asking, just wondering. Although the event was not mandatory and Leader's speech was considered secular, I'm sure you invited a rabbi to come in and talk to the employees of one of, if not the biggest talent agencies in all of Hollywood. Weird. But yeah, it was going to be secular, right? Several staffers voiced complaints. Well, wow, kvetching intensified. Big fucking shock. Which made their way to the WME co-chairman of Richard White's thing and Christian Muirhead thing. Instead of caving, WME invited Anti-Defamation League CEO Jonathan Greenblatt, ding, 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 to speak to the agency on November 1st. Greenblatt didn't mince words, according to those in attendance, calling out the Writers Guild of America for refusing to issue a statement after the Hamas attack. They didn't issue a statement that was strong enough. Across town, the agency's fiercest rival, CAA, was dealing with a crisis. Maha Dakil, sure, one of its top agents, had ignited a firestorm with her Instagram post, including one that said, "What's more heartbreaking than witnessing a genocide? Witnessing the denial of that genocide is happening." She later apologized. Interesting. Was she doing some independent thinking on that? Interesting. That could be very dangerous to one's career. In response, Dakili was relieved of her duties as co-chief of the motion pictures department. Weird. Though she was allowed to remain an agent. Oh, wow. It didn't hurt that her most important client, Tom Cruise, made it known that let it known to CAA that he was backing her. I like Tom Cruise even more. Cruise met with Dakil at her CAA office on November 15th. A knowledgeable source said that he took a rare step of going in person to show support for his embattled agent by simply asking questions, wondering, I know you say that there are like tunnels under the building, but why don't you go into those tunnels if you know that they're there? What do the kids have to do with anyways? But Dakil issue didn't end there. A group of CAA assistants threatened to walk out of the agency's treatment of her. Sources say, hey, nice. They believed she was being railroaded by management. Who's the management of CAA? Just asking. But ultimately abandoned their threat. At the same time, some of the agents who complained internally about Dakil's posts felt disillusioned, believing she had been fired. Well, she was fired from her very high-paying corporate job, but she can continue to be an agent because who's her number one client? Oh, right, the biggest name in fucking Hollywood. Separately, CAA cut ties with the staffer and two clients over incendiary anti-Israeli social media posts. At least that's a little bit more accurate because, yeah, you're going against the government of Israel, not the people of Israel, not the Jews, okay? This isn't about being anti-Jew. This is about being anti-government. Okay, that's a big fucking distinction that all of these idiots, the same people that say, oh, you support Palestine, that means you support Hamas, do you condemn Hamas? No. Governments are fucking different. You can go ahead and condemn innocent loss of life on both sides. I know, big fucking brained idea right here. There's a big difference between the two, but no. Everybody wants to conflate all of this shit in an attempt to see which side could cancel each other more effectively. But yes, moving on to Melissa Barrera. Some have had enough. Spyglass quickly dropped the actress as the star of the next Scream film, which just had a revival this year. Okay, it was Scream 6, which is absolutely wild to think about, but they're horror films. Okay, they're unapologetically derivative. Sources say due to her social media posts that referred to Israel as a colonized land and floated an anti-Semitic trope that Jews control the media. Wow, she well, let's get to her comment here before, elaborating any further. Writing, Western media only shows you the Israeli side. That is true. Mass media. Okay, if we just go ahead and apply that accurate assessment of things as mass media only shows you, yes, the Israeli side. Why do they do that? I will let you deduce for yourself. That is reading in hardcore. That is just like Ben Shapiro taking offense to Candace Owens posting a biblical quote. Oh, if you don't like my company, you don't have to work for it. And it's like, wait, what? No, I was posting a Bible quote. That's very nice that you want to admit that you're inflamed by the Bible, but all right, to each their own. But that right there, yeah, they only show you one side of the conflict. Why don't they want to show you the other? It could be a whole host of things. Could you be talking about who is they, though? Okay, is she trying to name who they is? Or is she also saying that maybe the Palestinians have something to say about this, but media wants to push a certain narrative and they aren't going to talk about the other side? Like, it could have absolutely nothing to do with any of the players involved. It could also be showing that, wow, the media only likes to ever show you one side of an argument. She could be saying a multitude of things, but she gets canceled for that. But then, and then of course, it's like, whenever I talk about, okay, a bunch of these leftists, because Susan Sarandon is fucking nuts. I don't know about the political proclivities of this Melissa Barrera chick, but after reading this Instagram story that she posted up there, breaking her silence on being dropped from the film, I'm like, you fucking leftist, man. You got to keep it 10 toes down. That's the only way that you beat cancel culture. Shout out to Raise Your Fist for coining this term. Cancel culture is a participation sport. You can only be canceled if you agree to be canceled. First and foremost, I condemn anti-Semitism and Islamophobia. Both of those things are fucking stupid. I condemn hate and prejudice of any kind against any group. As a Latina, proud Mexicana, I feel the responsibility of having a platform that allows me the privilege of being heard, and therefore I have tried to use it to raise awareness about issues I care about, and I lend my voice to those in need. Every person on this earth, regardless of religion, race, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, and socioeconomic status, deserves equal human rights, dignity, and of course, freedom. There's a lot of commas in that. Some of them aren't needed, but whatever. I believe a group of people are not their leadership. Hey man, it only took us 4 paragraphs, but we're actually onto something that I unironically agree with. And then no governing a body should be above criticism. Fucking based. If that was it, okay, if we just go ahead and wipe out those other paragraphs that are right there, this would be all good. I pray day and night for no more deaths, no more violence, and for peaceful coexistence. I will continue to speak out for those that need it. Yeah, mostly because one side of this conflict can't, because they don't have water, they don't have power, they don't have internet, they don't have access to humanitarian aid that's being brought in. But you know what? Hey, stand with Israel. That yet need it, and continue to advocate for peace and safety, for human rights and freedom. Silence is not an option for me. And I think, what was it, Wednesday, they brokered between Hamas and Israel. You know, the governments, not the people themselves, agreed to a 4-day ceasefire, some stuff like that. So hopefully they come to some sort of an agreement, because, yeah, all of those dead kids, I'm tired of seeing that shit populate my timelines. I'm tired of seeing it everywhere, because it's happening for no good fucking reason, and we're being force-fed one side of this narrative, and you have all of those fucking parrots that are out there just talking that same shit, and they're allowed to, because the countervailing opinion, well, it just gets banned. It gets fired. It gets pushed to the side, and then you start to wonder why everybody is so fucking paranoid, and they start asking who runs the media. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.